Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Tuesday. We are back with another Community Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in right on time. It's 8 o'clock. As always, we are here talking about links, the world of golf, DAOs, and much, much more. If you were here earlier, you saw an epic quiz house with a slight delay, but ultimately an awesome tournament about rookies. Rookies seem to be hot on the schedule this time of year. Uh, we had a fantastic quiz house win for Aclottum, with NTS Finest and Seabreeze coming in second and third, respectively. But good challenge there. Dom, what'd you think?
I didn't. I struggled. That was a tough one for me. A lot of just a lot of old knowledge there.
For sure. Well, did you have a chance to catch the Mexico Open? Let's chat about that for a bit while people filter in.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a boring one, I have to say. I think it's just so much more exciting to watch the players, like to anticipate watching certain players every single week, I think is something I anticipate. It's tough for me to watch just a bunch of random golfers at this time and just try to dial in. I don't know what attracts me. It's just I just was not attracted to the swings or whatever the heck this tournament. Just was not my shindig. And but what I do know is that it is one of the top 5 longest courses they're going to play on tour this year. So, and all the social media I saw of Jake and his muscles definitely proved to be true. Being in shape and being fit will lead to lower scores there.
You think altitude played a role in that? It's Mexico City, right? It's pretty, or was it Puerto Vallarta? I know it's mountainous, but I don't know how high up they are.
No, I mean it has to. Can't deny it, but I didn't really think of that now.
Yeah, cool. Well, the other thing that happened was Capital One had another The Match, and every single time they have one of these, I don't even know that it's happening until it's literally live on TV and somebody posts about it on Twitter or in Discord. It's like the match is on and this is happening. Why is there never any promo for the match? Like, why do we never see it beforehand? Right? I feel like I pay pretty close attention to the world of golf, and like social media and stuff, and I just never see the match promoted or scheduled unless it's Tigers in it.
I had the exact same reaction, Coop. I think I did see it for the first time the day before it happened. I was like, oh, that's tomorrow. Amazing. But yeah, as someone who feels like I'm pretty in tune to like golf stuff going on and, everything in the pro game, kind of snuck up on me. Like I knew the match was happening. I knew it was Rory and Max and Lexi and Rose, but um, yeah, feel like there was something off on the marketing there or something. It was fun to watch though. I don't know. Did you watch much of it, Coop? I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I tuned in a bit to the stream, the watch party we had here in Discord, and caught up with some of the chatter, and of course social media. My favorite part being that DJ College showed up thinking he was playing in the actual match. I think we have to schedule that. We have to make that happen for next time. That would be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty good. But actually, I like the under the lights. I appreciate the, like the one club challenge and stuff that they were doing. It was kind of fun to watch. They like completely butchered it, but I kind of enjoyed that. Um, watching the pros do that and like really struggle with it. Um, my main takeaway though is I think that I was thinking through this last night. The biggest thing these things are missing is just crowd noise and kind of the excitement that comes with that, which is what you get with like a tour event, right? It's like it's cool. I like the kind of visuals of the night golf and everything, but um, I felt the same way for this, for the the like par 3 influencer thing that was done at Grass Clippings recently, kind of like, because there's no, the vibe's kind of muted and it makes it feel a little more dead than it would otherwise. I don't know. It like kind of takes the excitement level down a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was a good watch.
That's a really interesting note. Like you can feel the energy, right? Is different without the crowd there. Something that we should maybe consider for the Ryder Cup event at Spey Bay, right? Getting a full crowd in around at least 1 in 18. Elevate the experience a little bit.
Now we're talking.
Tungsten, as our resident Live fan, what do you think about AK returning to the game this week?
I think in a way it's a bit of a coup for the Live because he comes with such brand cachet and name recognition and kind of mysterious circumstances of his return. I think it was a coup for them to score him. But the thing that's not clear to me yet in reading about his background is it sounds like there was some type of an insurance payout for his injury when it happened a year ago. Legitimate, there was no funny business there, but it was conditional that if he ever, at least some opinions were given, that if he ever returned to professional golf, he would have to repay the insurance payout, which, as I understand it, was in the millions and millions of dollars. So I have an open question about like how that part's going to work because that was discussed a lot early on. But I mean, as a Live enthusiast, I'm very excited they scored another name and we're going to get to see Andy Kim back out there playing golf. I wasn't a big TV viewer of golf when he played previously years ago, so I look forward to the opportunity to see what it looks like out on the course now that he takes a second stab at it. Greg Norman's the go-to.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I haven't seen any like official reporting, just like rumors and stuff on that. But the insurance policy was definitely a thing, and like very clearly stated why he was not coming back to the game, and like at least as I understand it, kind of a very unique spot that he's in now, and then he can kind of get an upfront payout from Live to cover any potential downside, and then kind of try and earn his way back with winning. Which I think is cool. Like, it's going to be fun to watch him. I'm definitely going to be watching. I do wonder how much like popular appeal he really has. Like, I think, kind of golf nerds, golf hardos from like a decade ago know a lot about who he is, but you have to think the average, the like at least stated kind of Live target audience. I don't. It feels like it's not really their sweet spot, but I don't know. I mean, and regardless, I'm going to enjoy watching him and see what he can do.
That's a good question. All caps. Dom, are you a follower, appreciator of AK?
I think I'm a terrible example for this, for I just am an amateur in my PGA knowledge at this time. But no, I did not know anything about. I was kind of upset Anthony Kim was getting. I was almost getting FOMO for how much I didn't know about this guy when everybody was posting about him. It blew my mind.
There you go. We got our resident young person opinion. Yeah, I mean, I'm 31. I very, very slightly know, right, who Anthony Kim is, but definitely a lot of hype, right, in the social media sphere, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out this week. Speaking of which, Dom, what are we doing on 2K this weekend?
So this weekend we will be following the PGA Tour, heading to PGA National Resort and Spa in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. You can join by joining Link Society on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox this weekend. And then also, I have something queued up for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Just, I think it'd be interesting if we take a deeper dive into custom-made courses by the 2K community. And I think we could do a little weekly feature every week for those who are dedicated to want to play that, and also the weekend event as well. So we're heading to a course called Pippedini Dunes, made by Rickster. It's a popular course on 2K. We'll be able to play that next Monday through Wednesday. So this weekend, again, heading to PJ National, Palm Springs, or Palm Beach rather, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Join Link Society on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. We'll also be having a DraftKings contest. It is posted in the members chat for our members here at Links. And then we'll also be having the watch party all weekend. And should be a good watch. I think the field is a little deeper than last week, not as deep as, of course, we would want it to be. But yeah, it should be a good watch this weekend. Rory's in the field. It's always a good watch with Rory.
My picks this year continue to be just atrocious. So, you can join the group this week and get a $5 donation from me.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to join.
There it is. I might have to hop in there for the first time to see if I can compete for the worst picks of the week. We should do a prize, if we're not already keeping track of that. Well, fantastic. Well, without further ado, I do want to talk about an important proposal. We're going to talk about a few votes and proposals here. It's been a while, and we're really excited to roll back into it. But one that we've been in the works for a while, with regard to Spay Bay. I'll kick it over here to Tungsten to kind of fill us in on the Spay Bay memorabilia proposal.
Thanks, Coop. Thanks. Yeah. Good evening, everybody in Linksland. What's up, y'all? So like Coop mentioned, this is a proposal that has been cooking for a while around here. The conversations around this proposal got started last summer while we were at Spay Bay. And a lot of the bulk of the details kind of, were sorted out in the fall, but everything was kind of backburnered, and here we are again. So for those of you who have not had a chance to attend one of the past couple DAO calls where we've discussed this proposal, let me give you the TLDR. There are some members at Spay Bay that live in Scotland. Specifically, their names are Alfie and Trish. They are fantastic people, even better golfers. And as it turns out, they're also collectors. And over the years, they have amassed quite a collection of Spay Bay, Scottish Highlands, golf-related memorabilia, whether it be old prints or amazing solid silver trophies. The golf bag that Patrick Harrington carried when he won a major, all kinds of cool stuff. Anyway, long story short, they have amassed this collection, and we believe it would be best used by displaying it at the clubhouse to really let members get a feel for the history of the club, where we've come from, and kind of set the stage for where we're going. So in the conversation around how to value this memorabilia and what we should do, Alfie and Trish were very quick to move away from a financial conversation and more towards one of mutual benefit. And where we landed was that in an ideal world, we could exchange access to all of this great memorabilia to hang on the clubhouse walls, to use the trophies for, club championship trophies. And rather than cut these folks a check, they just want to be a member of the golf club for the next 10 years. And we thought that was a pretty fair ask. They've been members of the club for years to begin with. In fact, Alfie was one of the members that attempted to save the club 20 years ago when it first went into what they call receivership or administration, bankruptcy, as I understand it. So he's been part of the Links community before Links was even around. We just didn't know it. And I think this is a great way to kind of bring everything full circle, bring all that memorabilia back home, give it the location and status it deserves, and also take care of the individuals that brought it to us in a really generous and fun way. So the proposal is out just that. In exchange for this memorabilia and access to the trophies, we're going to offer Alfie and Trish and their family a 10-year membership. And Alfie in particular, just as a little extra nod to his status among the community over there, we're proposing to name the starters box on the course after him. Now, there's not currently a starters box. It is where the locker rooms are at. So we'll probably just start off with a sign. But if we're lucky enough to get up a starters box built on the course someday in the future, the name would transfer over there, and it would be something really meaningful to everyone here who's had a chance to meet him, and certainly meaningful to the 140 plus members of the Spay Bay Golf Club that have known Alfie for years at this point. So the proposal itself has been discussed. I think we'll get the copy out for everyone to start commenting on pretty quickly. Coop can add some details there, and it sounds like there's a chance we will be voting on this next week. So I'll make myself available to answer questions in the chats as I usually am. I welcome everyone's feedback on this. And the last thing I'll point out is a lot of times when we put proposals up for votes around here, we make a point of either establishing it as a precedent or it's not a precedent. Like when we refreshed NFTs for members that had them stolen a couple years ago, we didn't want to establish a precedent with that. I do think we have a chance to establish a small precedent with this one, which is one of the great things about Links is everyone can join if they want to. There are no barriers to entry. If you have a credit card or if you know how to use Web3, you can claim an NFT and you can join Spay Bay, and that's great. We welcome paying members. As the NFT holders that have some semblance of governance over the club, I think we are in a great position to decide who gets to join the club for free. Who do we give memberships to? I think that's an area where it's not a financial transaction. It doesn't run the risk of upsetting any of the guys in DC, but it's going to give us a chance to establish who we believe should be a member of the club. So I hope this vote here is one of a number of votes we get to have in the next few years about giving memberships to people to join the club if they're not able to pay. I think it's an area that we will be able to serve others in, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll kick it off with this one, and looking forward to many more after it. And I'll be hanging out for questions. Thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Yeah, feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions about this. The document has been posted in DAO General. It's now posted in members chat, and there's a video as well as a selfie of myself and Dom with a lot of this memorabilia from the welcome event this past summer over in Scotland, posted in Clubhouse. Yeah, feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions to chat about this, and I appreciate that sentiment, Tungsten. We do have an opportunity both at Spay Bay and Scotland and kind of in all of our efforts, especially as we move into US core stuff here to make the game more open and inclusive, and I do like that sentiment that you shared. So yeah, feel free to raise your hand here on the call or chime in the chats or drop a comment right in the Google Doc. We'll be moving towards an RFC on that shortly. So get your ledgers or wallets ready to vote on Snapshot. I know it's always a fun time when we go live to the blockchain to make decisions, but it should be a good one here. Looking forward to feedback and discussion of that as well. Without further ado, on some more Spay Bay stuff, I'll kick it over to Seabruce.
Yeah, a few other Spay Bay items while we're on the topic. First off, just quickly on the Pro Shop. So we did recently release these limited edition or limited release Fife head covers with the Spay Bay logo and kind of this custom Harris tweed fabric. So the hybrid head covers are now sold out, but we do have just a small number of driver head covers still available. So I wanted to shout that out. If anyone had their eyes on one of those, I would grab it quickly. Because once they are, once they're sold out, they won't be restocked in the shop. This was a limited release. So definitely check those out if you haven't seen them already, or if you're thinking about grabbing one, but we're on the fence. Definitely do it quick. So that's one Spay Bay item. The other big one from this past week was event registration for the events coming this year. So we've got an awesome slate of events at Spay Bay set up for this year. Coop just dropped a link, which has kind of the schedule and some of the details around each. We kind of conveniently scheduled a number of them around U.S. holiday weekends, make it a little easier for folks to get over there if they're coming from the U.S. But so right now we've been kind of opening up the registration windows for folks this week so that they can purchase spots to each of the events. So, we open it up to our Diamond Inaugural members first, and then Platinum Inaugural, Gold Inaugural. Right now, it is open to all Spay Bay members. So if you have joined the course in Scotland, whether that's one of the inaugural members, you bought an overseas membership later, for our local members as well. All Spay Bay members can register for an event right now. Go to that link that Coop posted. And if you click through for any of the events to the registration page, you can search for your name. And if you're in that group, you'll pop up. So that is going to be running through the rest of this week. So for folks, I know, for many folks, you got to look at travel options or, do some planning. You've got a little time to continue to figure that out. And of course, for any of these that still have spots available, you'll be able to do it later. But on this Friday at noon Eastern, we'll be opening it up to all Links members, not just the ones at Spay Bay, for specific events that aren't kind of Spay Bay members only. So right now, that is specifically the summer solstice event, which is June 20th through 22nd, I want to say, thinking off the top of my head, 21st to 23rd, rather. So it's around the summer solstice. It's going to be an amazing event. It's basically the point of the year where it's the most sunlight. We're going to have over 18 hours of sunlight to play. Folks will be able to play, over 72 holes in one day. It's Spay Bay, where we'll just keep rolling. And then we'll also have a competition that weekend, the traditional Scottish Highland dinner on Saturday night in Gordon Castle down the road. A lot of amazing stuff planned this weekend. So that will open up on Friday. And you can see more details on the link that you posted. You're able to bring a guest to certain events, and each of them have their own kind of programming or itinerary planned around it. So a lot going on that front. We've had a bunch of folks register already. I was just looking at the numbers prior to this. So I think we've actually got a good group of folks for all 5 events already signed up, which is awesome. So looks like we're going to have an awesome slate for the summer. Again, if you're a Spay Bay member, your registration window is already open, and it'll just be open to these folks through Friday, and then Friday it'll open up for specific events to all Links members. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that. I know we've released a bunch of this stuff, or announced a lot of the details prior in Discord and everything else. But happy to answer any questions. Hank, to your question, yes, for the events that are open to non-members of the course, they do pay more than member rates. So obviously, for anyone kind of on the fence of thinking about joining the course, that's a good reason to do so, and do so now. You'd also get the priority registration window. And for guests as well, all of this information is on the registration pages if you click through. But if you're bringing guests to one of those events, they'll come through at that kind of guest rate. All right, so I think that's it on Spay Bay events. Any other questions, or Coop, did I miss anything on that front?
I think that's it. Just want a reminder, right? Spay Bay is an awesome central hub in on that coastline, right, to access a bunch of awesome other golf. But there are castles, right? It's going to be prime fishing season on the River Spay. There are all of the whiskey distilleries in the Highlands right there. And ultimately, this can be like your hub, your home base for a trip to experience all of Scotland, right? And if you have any questions about that, feel free to open a ticket, ping any of us, talk to Bert, right? We can, I was talking to him about doing some salmon fishing in the Spay over there this summer. If you have any questions about other activities or things to do, send a message, right, in Spay Bay channel or Clubhouse, and we can chat about that as well. But it should be an awesome slate of events, and I'm super excited to get back over there. So shout out to you and the team for all the hard work getting those lined up and ready. And I've been very excited to see the volume of folks register.
For sure.
Speaking of travel, we have a new partner. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've done a new partner announcement, but this is a really good one, in particular, talking about people planning travel for Spay Bay events or other summer travel that they've got going. Could be down to Pristine Bay, could be, in any of the courses in the network across the country. But we've got a new one to drop today. So as of today, we have a new partner, which is Travel Swap. So you may have seen them They've done a variety of announcements actually with a bunch of other kind of crypto projects and everything else. They are, they're basically a travel website, so you can go search and book. Today, it is primarily accommodation, so hotels and other lodging options. I understand they're going to be launching flights soon as well. But so it's basically an OTA, an online travel agency. They have now a kind of custom portal for Links members, and you can visit it. I just dropped the link in the chat here through the benefits page in the Clubhouse. But so when you book through that portal, search and book, and again, you can search for anywhere across the globe, you're going to get 5% off any bookings up to $100, which can, it can add up, right? If you're booking lodging for a large trip, that can really make a difference. And, this is something they really focus on a lot. You can easily pay with, I think it's right now, over 20 cryptocurrencies, or you could pay in USD. But, they make it really easy to book, whether it's through crypto, through cash, by any means. And you're getting great deals on kind of all of the locations. So if you're searching for accommodation at Spay Bay, we do have a bunch of preferred relationships at Spay Bay, and you should reach out to Bert. But you can also check out through Travel Swap or any other destination you're looking at. You'll get great deals, and they're adding flights and more soon. So really awesome partnership. They've partnered with a lot of the top crypto communities to date. Really great to have them on board at Links. They've done some great work to kind of build out this custom portal that's just for our community. You can visit through the benefit page, and make sure you're checking it out when you're looking at travel options for Spay Bay or otherwise this summer.
Sweet. Can't wait to use that one. Very, very cool partnership there. Shout out to the Travel Swap guys and gals. Shall we move on to US courses? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I suppose we should. Would people be interested in that? I don't know.
I'd like a US course.
Courses? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we should talk about it.
Let's see.
Yeah. So there's been a lot going on, mostly kind of behind the scenes thus far, as we're working through with a lot of these prospects. There also has been a lot of chatter in the Buying Courses channel and, elsewhere, which has also been great as well. But it's great that, in the background, a lot of these course projects that we've been looking at continue to push forward, getting kind of closer and closer to bringing stuff forward to the community. And so we're basically at that point with a couple of the options that we've been looking at and in conversations with for a while now. So what we're kind of gearing up for and the plan for this coming week is we'll be putting essentially proposals out for 2 separate course options, both in the US. And we're going to kind of put them out there separately, right? So you'll be able to kind of read through some of the detail and comment and discuss each course separately, because they are 2, separate opportunities with different pros and cons. And, we're just kind of pulling together all the detail for this now. And we plan, to keep me honest, but I think we're planning to put this out later this week for kind of comment and discussion, with the goal of going to Snapshot Vote next week. Is that all correct, Coop?
Yeah, exactly. So just putting some final touches on formatting these proposals. We had a question in DAO General, right? With 2 course options on the table, we kind of want to present each of them on their own for consideration, right? And an up-down, like yes or no. are you in favor of pursuing this course based on your personal preferences? And then a head-to-head decision between the two courses. If in the event that Links wanted to focus on one of these courses specifically, and not the other, right? Just to maintain focus, which one would we vote for? So that would be the 3 snapshot options in addition to the Spade by Memorabilia vote that would be coming up for voting within the next week or so. So we will be sharing those proposals ASAP, potentially as soon as tomorrow, right, in the channels, and then going to a vote. So
yeah, and
definitely.
let me add
go
just, sorry, I didn't touch on 1.2, and this is important. So, and I know I've mentioned this on other calls before, but so with actually both of these options today, we are not at the point of being able to name the specific course. And I know that is frustrating. I would love to do that for the community as well. And it does mean that, kind of what will be in those proposals is we're only going to be describing the course. We aren't going to give specific names. We'll have to kind of do some of the details at a higher level, but we'll get as detailed as possible. We aren't just doing that for no good reason. It is because of the specific discussions with each of these owners or sellers and at their specific request. And, both of these are kind of off-market deals, right? They aren't public listings, so they're not something you can go search around on the internet and find. So, each of these owners have their own sensitivity to it. We are constantly pushing on that front, and, just kind of the situation with both. We aren't quite at that point yet. There's kind of some other hoops we have to jump through and kind of points of agreement to get to before we get to that point, which I realize is frustrating. We're pushing on it. We will get there as soon as we can. But to the question of, how do we vote on this? So the point of this is we want to, at this moment, even if we cannot name the course, we want to put as much information as we can in front of the community. And this isn't going to be like a, buy or don't buy, submit a bid, or, don't submit a bid like it was with Spade Bay. This is going to be putting as much information as we can out there and then letting the community discuss. And then, the votes will basically be a, move forward, don't move forward, right? Like, or, and kind of, some of this can be up for discussion in the, when we put this out and, we discuss the proposals themselves. But that's going to be the point, right? We can't share like 100% full information at this point. We want to get as much as we can out there today. And, we'll see what the community feels about all the details that we're able to share. And maybe we'll see that, there's certain aspects of one community is really excited about, community is not, maybe really wants to move forward with both, one, the other, or neither, that all of those are options, right? But that is really useful discussion to have for all of us as a group. And it's really useful to kind of, I think, put us kind of to that decision point so that we can focus our efforts so that we're getting valuable feedback from the community, even if it isn't quite yet at the point of, yes, we're going to, whatever, put in an offer or consummate a deal or what have you. And because we do have kind of 2 separate options that we're looking at concurrently, I personally think it's really helpful for us to look at them in parallel, right? Because we'll be able to judge kind of the specific options out there, pros and cons, kind of have some comparison points, right? Which we really haven't been able to do yet, specifically for US courses. So that's a little more context. I mean, and yeah, sorry, one more thing too, because just given that, right, you can expect more after this, but did want to point out, I know that, not naming the course is frustrating, but it's all in the interest of getting detail out there, getting community feedback sooner rather than later. And, we can always come back for more later.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're going to be sharing the more detailed outlines right here with as much information as we can share, while still making the judgment call that we want these to be anonymized, right? And like Chris said, we don't want these. If you are a sleuth and you're able to piece it together, we'd appreciate if you don't share that information, especially not publicly, for the good of the project and for our intent to continue the progress that we're making with these courses and these sellers. That being said, I don't think there's any harm in us saying the 2 locations for these today before we share the proposals. Do you, Chris?
No, definitely not. Yeah, no, you can go ahead and say it. So one of them is in the Southeast, one is in the Midwest. And so we'll just leave it at that for now. We will obviously keep the geography a little kind of wide ranged because, because we can't get too specific at this point for all the reasons we just mentioned. But yeah, that's the general areas. One Southeast, one's in the Midwest, and both are, inner near metro areas with airports, which we know is important to people. But we'll put more detail in actual proposal documents, and to the extent we can, we'll put those out there, and we'll have a lot more discussion over the next week on this.
Thank you very much for that. And yeah, we'll get these proposals posted out to everybody as soon as possible. Stay tuned for that. Very exciting stuff. Progress on the U.S. side. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of really good conversations, as well as RFCs as we continue down the path with these. Without further ado, though, I would love to spin the wheel of names for the 8th round of Links Leagues, which just wrapped. You can there's still time to go and post your scores to dethrone the current leader of Links Leagues, who is me somehow. I don't know how I have scored that well. Again, while I was spinning the wheel of names, please raise your hand if you want to come up on stage, ask questions, or add to this discussion. But I will spin the wheel here. I want to give a shout out to our player of the week, Soda Nice. Scored a 40 at El Tinto, 15 points this week in the final round. And look at that. C. Bruce won the wheel of names. Do you want to keep it or double it and pass it on?
No,
all right, we're going to
spin it again. Spin it again.
We're going to double it and pass it to the next person. Who do we got? Oh, if it's me. Oh, it's RW Dennis again. What a champion. All right. Love to see it. Fantastic plays. So still a little bit of time to get your scores posted. About one more week in this Links Leagues. And we will do some drawings for the final winners as well. But yeah, super exciting. Did I get the wrong Wally? Yeah, I did. Tagged the wrong user. There we go. Congrats to Soda Nice and RW Dennis on that. But yeah, excellent news coming here, and definitely some spirited discussion. So I'm looking forward to it with all of you. Any other comments, hands raised, or questions, or we can continue it in the chats.
Gonna be a fun week, fun couple weeks.
Absolutely. All right. Will a newsletter go out for the vote? ETH, I'm guessing you mean like an email notice to tell folks to vote?
We'll definitely hit.
We will hit
email, to get people in.
Yeah, all social channels, all Discord announcements, all emails, on all cylinders. I don't have an answer to that, Sweno, unfortunately. We won't send any letters, unfortunately. To those of you who we have your mailing address, we will only send golf balls if requested. But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. We will be continuing with Tuesdays for another month. And then around the Masters, we will shift to Community Thursdays. I look forward to it. Enjoy the last pieces of winter, and hopefully, if you're in the Northeast, play some golf while it's warm this week. Cheers.
Happy Tuesday, y'all.
Thank you.